Stream starting. All right, welcome back, guys. This is Darreck Kirby, aka DDP from the Dallas Prospect, back again for Mavs Fastbreak, and joined once more by my usual co-host Enyi Nduka.
Happy Mavs Day, everybody. How y'all doing?
He is very happy about Mavs Day, apparently, now that he's aware of it.
What you mean? I knew about it all week.
Yes, all week. And we are joined on the phone as well by Max Levy, aka Rangers King 669. Max, how are you doing today?
Hey, what it do?
We're live.
I'm doing good.
That's funny.
Cool. Well, so we've got, obviously, as we mentioned before, some interesting stuff here with Team Day for the Mavericks today on NBA TV. They're running on that. Max, what do you know as far as that? Like, what's the window of years they're covering here? Is it basically just highlights over the years, or is it a particular focus, like the Cuban era or something like that? Just for those who might not be watching it yet.
Well, I took a peek at the schedule. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to watch it much because I got homework that I'm multitasking on right now.
Yes.
But from what I saw, it's 2011, whole lot of 2011, Portland, Thunder, Lakers, the whole nine. There's some 80s. There was one game with Jason Kidd in the 90s versus the Rockets, but that was at 6 a.m. this morning. So, and that's
an early start.
Almost all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good times.
Shout out to Eric Donahue here in the chat as well. What's up?
What up, Donahue?
So
let's on the subject of Mavs Day, let's kind of go back into the days of
flashing back.
What are some, not just title? Come on now,
okay.
Let's say that to the end. But what are some of the memories that you think of when you think Mavs before title? Just kind of stuff that comes out.
I remember one of my real memories from that probably would be 2002-2003 season with Dirk. They go up 3-0 on the Blazers in the first round, lose the next three, and have to go to a game 7.
Yeah, again, you said Blazers,
yeah. Yeah, Blazers first round. I remember that just because that was my first season really, really paying attention to the Mavericks, and that was because that was when Dirk really grabbed my attention, and I went from being kind of a casual fan to really focusing in on it and watching all the games all season long instead of just passing it and stopping every now and then. But that when they won that series, I was anxious about it because I was like, oh god, they're saying no one's ever lost in this situation, up 3-0, and then we almost do it, and then we had to face the Kings, who were really good, and that whole postseason was just stress.
Yeah,
because you went then Kings beat them in 7, and then you go Spurs, and because Dirk goes down, you lose in 6, and you still cannot convince me that they don't win the title that year if Dirk doesn't sprain his MCL.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny if you look back in those days, because I'm also picturing 2003 and 2011.
Yep.
Those are probably some of the most stressful times going through those playoff runs.
Yep.
But it's a good kind of stress, so I freaking love it. One of the things I think of is kind of like the first year I won't say a Mavs fan, but it was I think when I really started paying, I think it was the 2002 season.
Volume.
I need to talk louder?
Yes.
I told you I need to just
project.
Anyway, so
we gotta get Max's in here too in a second.
Yeah. So I think it was the 2002 season when I think we were going up against the Jazz. I think it was the first round, I believe, and I think this was going to be the first Mavs. I think it was the first series that they've won since probably
first in the Dirk era for sure.
Yeah, but it's in a long time.
That was a 5-game series, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't go a 7-game series till I don't even know.
It wasn't 7 yet. It would have been a 5-game series at the time.
But I think it was game 5, I believe, when Calvin Booth I think hit a big shot. That's how long it was. Yep.
Okay.
Calvin Booth hitting the big shot at the end against the Jazz, and I think that was when I remember going back to school, being really excited, talking with one of my friends about that game, about Calvin Booth. I remember that was the year I think I first went to the game. They were still back in Reunion Arena at that time too. Yeah, I'm not trying to date myself.
Reunion.
What?
Maybe that, or it's first year of AAC.
No, I remember probably.
Okay, cool. So, Max, what's one of your earlier Mavs memories? I guess any just your fandom of it can be whenever.
in my limited lifetime so far.
Yeah.
Let's see. The first time I really specifically remember watching Mavericks was probably 2007 or 2008. Jason Kidd hit this half-court buzzer beater at like halftime versus the Clippers.
Yep. It was like 3/4.
I don't remember.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the opposite 3-point line.
Yeah. I don't remember where it was specifically. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
But after that, 2009 Western Conference semifinals versus Melo. I remember watching like exactly one game of that because I was at this dude's party. I didn't really get into watching the Mavs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you guys keep in mind, I was like probably 8 or 9 years old at this time. But
okay. Table setter.
So 2011 was epic. I was already into the team like before the finals hit, before the conference finals. I really got into it right about middle Portland / the Lakers series.
Yeah.
That was the greatest. I remember I was coming home. It was like, I swear it was Game 5 of the conference finals. I was coming home from my grandparents who lived in Oklahoma, funnily enough, Norman.
Nice.
Not in Norman. They lived in OKC, but they had Norman. They went to Norman for college, OU.
OU, yes, of course, the good place. I'm from Norman originally, so he doesn't like that. He's a Longhorn guy.
Yep.
We were coming home. I remember begging my mom. I was like, "Can you please stick it on 103.3?" She was like, "There's no way we're in range. We're in Ardmore."
Yep.
And
that would be in range
yet
today.
Somehow but we were in range. Oh, we were. And I got her to turn it on, and believe me, we listened to it all the way until we got home, and it was the fourth quarter, and then I watched the game.
Very nice. The legendary Chuck Cooperstein doing play-by-play.
Yep. He's actually really good. Game
Still
5.
doing it.
You said Game 5, the Western Conference Finals?
Yep.
Was that a 15-point comeback?
That wasn't Game 5. That was the 15-point comeback. That was Game 4.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Because it was the backbreaker, and then they had to come back to Dallas, I believe.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah,
I was actually at Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals that year, and got to ride that out as well. And to be clear, even though I'm both Thunder and Mavs, I wore a Dirk jersey into the Oklahoma City's arena, into their Loud City, as they call it, and got to ride that out. And basically, now to be fair, my wife was wearing she was wearing Dirk too.
Boom, that's a good wife right there.
Yeah, it was my other friend who was also kind of split that wore the Thunder jersey just to balance it out. But my loyalty was clear.
Abraham Young says his was in the 2009 NBA playoffs when we beat the
second-seeded Spurs. That was good. The 7-seed Mavs. Mono got hurt, and they weren't at full strength. The Spurs were beat up in the playoffs.
Okay.
It was a fluke. I don't want to say a fluke year, but it was not a fully healthy, normal Spurs team.
It was that time, I think, pretty much after...
Don't worry, they got us back in 5 like the next year or something like that.
It was one of those times after the 07 season where it kind of, all those seasons in between that and the championship season kind of...
Yeah, they blend together. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so...
Eric Donahue, I'll get that question in a second. Let us finish up on this segment where we're talking about the favorite Mavs memories.
I mean, if y'all want to talk about the championship run,
yeah,
if we want to go through some memories. Oh man, I remember the most. Let's kind of go through the bad ones first. I remember it was Game 4, of course, the game that we blew the 20-point lead against Trailblazers.
Yeah, that I felt just sick after that because I was afraid it was going to be a collapse from that point on.
So, funny story for me.
Okay.
All right, so I remember the day before that game. That game was on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I remember telling my whole family Saturday. I was like, "Yo, from 3, I think the game started from 3 o'clock or something like that. I don't know. I told them for 3 to about 5:30. No one talked to me. No one told me to do anything. I'm watching the game, right? And so I made sure everyone knew that, right? And so it came to a point with that game. And for some reason, I don't know what the occasion was, but they're like, we want to go out to eat. And I was like, that's fine. Y'all can go. I'm going to stay back and watch the game. And then for some reason, they like forced me to go. And this was at the point where the Blazers are starting to make their comeback.
Yep.
And so I'm watching it, and I'm like, yo, I'm not going. Like, stop. Like, I'm not trying to go. And make me go. All right. So I had to listen to Chuck on the broadcast as they're coming back. And I remember hearing that they lost the game. And I got so pissed that I was like, I'm not going to eat. I'm going home. So we were on the car right there. My brother was driving the car, but we went in like separate cars with the rest of my family. So I dropped off my brother basically. I took the car and I went home. I was like, I'm not going. I was just so mad that they won't let me watch the game. And I felt like psychologically, me watching the game gives them a better chance to win the game.
You're one of those people that think you're the lucky charm.
It's weird.
I've had I dated one girl in the past who was so convinced in that sort of thing that at one point, I think it was an OU game, they got a big lead and then they started to choke it away. And it was like, it corresponded with her coming over to my house because we were going to do something after the game. And she literally was like, I feel like I'm jinxing it, and left. And you want to be like, no, you're being silly, but at the same time you're like, well, maybe you're right. Get out. And then we lost, and I'm like, you already ruined it anyway. It's fine.
Hey, you never know, man.
Yeah.
Don't mess with it. Don't mess with the force and stuff. But that was such a good run. That was probably one of the best runs, and no one really talks about it. When everyone talks about that Mavs 2011 run, they mostly talk about how LeBron choked it away or something like that. But it really wasn't that. And one of the things that actually makes me mad, too, on top of people saying that LeBron choked it, was that Dirk did it by himself. Well, not necessarily. They didn't have like another superstar or whatever, or another all-star on that to be. But that team was so freaking deep.
Yeah, it was a very good, deep veteran roster.
Yeah, I think our 12th man was probably Corey Brewer that game. That team.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's how deep that team was. It was a very fun team.
And they were missing Caron Butler too,
who was the second. He was the second best player on that team. He was averaging around 15 points a game before he went down January 1st.
Yep.
I remember I was in Maryland watching that game when that happened. I was so pissed. Anyway,
we are now live on Phantom on Facebook as well.
Oh, what's up, Phantom people and Facebook people?
As usual, I'm late to the party getting us going on Facebook, but if you're on YouTube, you've missed nothing. So, Max, what are your thoughts to just a slight pivot here? The Mavs preseason schedule coming out the other day. We got 2 games in China, I think, of the 4. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was remiss when the last time we talked about Ding. I forgot to mention that, the main reason to me that they even brought Ding over was because they were playing 2 games in China.
That's a good point.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
Oh, whoops. We're live on Law 2.0. Yeah. His crowd will not be as happy with me.
What the crap is Mavs?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hopefully that shuts off midstream now for them.
Yeah.
I should have checked this first.
Probably.
It's fine.
Anyway.
Yeah, but that is a great point, Max. I hadn't thought of that either, that them playing 2 games in China for the preseason makes more sense now about that signing for sure.
Now, are they going to both games? I think I remember seeing the Chinese team that they're playing. Is it both in China, or they're going to do like one here or one there? I don't really know how it works.
I'm not sure.
Here's what I know. Sorry. Here's I saw it. So the Chinese team that were actually playing in the U.S.
Okay.
And then it's like the Beijing Ducks, and then they're playing the 76ers. I'm pretty sure they're playing 76ers both times overseas.
Nice.
Okay, interesting.
You say
have to trust the process.
Quack.
Yes,
Quack.
The Beijing
Quack.
Ducks.
Yeah, how come we're not playing against Real Madrid?
Beijing Ducks.
They have to play against the next Luka Doncic or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
probably be best for them to go play. Sorry, I was just gonna say if they were to play against the next Luka Doncic, they'd probably want to go play like Seta Vita or something.
See, that's how deep in his analysis he is on this. That he already knows where the next Luka is.
That's cool. Oh, by the way, guys, so I'm officially super maxed out on my excitement level for Luka Doncic.
Oh, you finally came full around.
Yeah, okay. I told you it was going to take me some time.
It did take you time. You were on the Michael Porter Jr. train.
I was on the Michael Porter Jr. train hard. That when we drafted Luka, I was like, okay, I had to start this process. And I watched a couple of videos, and I was like, okay, I'm on board. I'm excited. But then, like, recently, I don't know what happened. I started watching more stuff. And
Yep.
so now I'm, like, super duper excited, and I can't wait for the season to get going. Let's do some quick shout-outs.
Run
Cowboy X Factor, what up, baby? How you doing?
Giving you an individual shout-out.
Yeah, you did.
Ndola. Eric Donahue as well. We got Say Primetime, Carmela.
Who-bag?
Hubbag?
What up, Who-bag?
Let's see. We also got Dennis Van. I'm just gonna call you Dennis. Hold
on. Let me try. Where's it at? Dennis Van. Wow, that looks like you just.
Dennis Van. Wow, that is what we will call you. And of course we got.
Okay. Wait.
Looks like you punched the keyboard, and that's what happened.
What up, Max?
I was gonna say I've known the guy.
Oh.
Like we've talked on Twitter and stuff. But like we're like I've talked to him on Twitter ever since Captain. If you know Captain Jackass, that's where I know him from.
Okay.
I'm gonna go and take my shot. Dennis Van Rijswijk. I'm close.
Rijswijk. Okay. Yeah, we'll roll with that. Rijswijk.
Okay, Dennis Van. I never understood the MPJ hype. We already got Barnes, and MPJ has big injury problems. Maybe if we traded down to 14, I would get it. Dennis is fine.
He wants us to go with
just
Dennis.
We'll call you just Dennis.
Just
so you won't
Dennis.
get confused with Dennis Smith. So we'll just call you
You're
Dennis.
just trying to irritate the fans. That's all. The lovely people here in the chat.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I was on the MPJ hype. If you can go back to the past.
Well, to be fair, we had that hype before we knew of the second back surgery as well.
True.
And we were looking at his ceiling being a Kevin Durant-like comp.
True.
And so we were like, okay, we got the somewhat Russell Westbrook comp last year in Dennis Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Now you add to that, and I like Barnes. I do. I don't know if he is like a continuous building block moving forward beyond this contract, or certainly at the money level he's making right now. Yeah, because he's going to be another big contract if they add him on again. But they do view him as like the Michael Finley to Dennis Smith and Luka's Dirk and Nash combo, basically.
Yeah. Speaking of money, did you see the tweet that came out this weekend about the Dallas wing player?
Yeah, Skylar Diggins, right?
Yeah.
Is it Diggins Smith or Diggins?
It's Diggins Smith. She got married. And
Diggins Smith.
Yeah, she hyphenated her name. What do you think of that? Or do you want to get to something?
We can
kind of say controversial.
We can touch on it a little bit. I feel like Max is already this on top of it that he was about to come in with a hot opinion.
Yeah, I already have a hot
or
opinion.
analysis.
All right. If you want me to.
Go for it, man.
What you think?
Here's the thing. In reality, they deserve it, but I don't know if it's necessarily possible because the WNBA is bleeding money.
Agreed. Yeah,
So I.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You should go.
Interrupted you.
You should go. I want it to happen. It should happen, but money says no.
True. So I agree with that. But
it's not near as marketable of a league either.
Yeah, here is her point that one of her points was that NBA players get 50% of the revenue is shared with the NBA players, where the WNBA players
union and the owners.
Somewhere in the 20s.
Right.
Which, they deserve more, but here we're in the entertainment business. It is way different from your typical corporate jobs where you sign contracts and this is how much you get paid for the position that you're in. In the entertainment business is it's not necessarily what you're worth, but what can you bring to the table.
Sure.
And the fact of the matter is the WNBA doesn't bring very much to the table.
Yeah.
In comparison to the NBA, that they necessarily can't command that much. Now, when they're beginning to get more viewers, so somewhere down the line, yes, they can probably
open up
not necessarily get NBA player money, but they can probably share more in the WNBA revenue.
Yeah, I get her point. I don't think it was framed particularly well because you see the cliff note of the comment and it just reads like a sniped shot at Harrison Barnes,
which is like
I get it.
Kind of the worst person.
She's probably a top 5, top 3 player in the WNBA from what I understand.
She's like a 3-time All-Star.
Yeah,
led the league.
Definitely a top 10. Definitely a top 10 player in the league.
Highest paid player on the team.
Yeah,
of course.
So she's there, and so she tried to look at the parallel of another good player on the Mavericks, but a guy who's never made the All-Star team, and then point out, look at the difference in pay. But again, it doesn't take all that other nuance into the equation as far as
you don't need
marketability and all of that.
You don't necessarily need to be a business major to understand the differences between how the WNBA players get paid versus the NBA players.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to balance out a little bit, but you got to have certain factors and steps take place before that happens.
I don't even think it needs to balance out.
I'm not saying balance 50-50 where they're making the same deal. The best WNBA player makes the same as the best NBA player.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the numbers are staggering when you look at it side by side. And so ideally, if you build the league up a little bit more, then their pay should rise up, where they're not making 20%, as you said, of that revenue share, but it's going up to
maybe
at least
they can
30,
make
35 something like that. That's what I meant by balance out.
Yeah. Cool. So, I mean, that's what they're working on now, and that's what I believe what the WNBA is doing. They're getting themselves into better markets. That's why the Oklahoma team moved from Oklahoma to Dallas, because it's a better market. Hey, man.
It's Tulsa. I don't care.
Exactly. But they moved to Dallas with a better market. I didn't even know... I mean, I really don't know WNBA. They only play 30-something games too, as opposed to.
Oh, I have no idea. I cannot pretend that I'm an expert on the WNBA.
So I mean, this is the differences, and I know more and more of these players are coming out, especially during the offseason when they're seeing all these players getting signed to big contracts, and the WNBA players are like, "Where is that for us?" WNBA players, I think the majority of their income probably comes from playing overseas too, because they get a lot more.
I have heard that as well.
It's a lot more respect, a lot more marketability overseas than domestically down here. So I mean, it's different. It's gonna take time. They're not as old and haven't been in the game as long as the NBA has.
Sure.
So I mean, it's gonna take time, and I think they're moving in the right direction. Probably not as fast as they want it to be, but when you include social media, all these things that are going on, I think is gonna help them in getting more people, more butts in seats, meaning more revenue for the WNBA, eventually meaning to more shares for the players, to where they probably will never be at the NBA level. I mean, if you can be completely honest, I'm sorry, they deserve it, but in the entertainment business, is not what you deserve, is what you can bring to the table. And so maybe somewhere down the road they can get some more shares, and I'm cheering for that. I'm actually thinking about going to a Dallas Wing game probably next season, because they just got
eliminated. So you're going to be waiting in line a while.
Yeah, they made it to the playoffs for the first time, which is awesome. You got Liz Cambridge with Skylar Diggs, and so that was a good 1-2 punch. We probably need to add a third, I guess a third player. I'm actually a fan of Natalie. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I think it's like Ochoa. She's Nigerian. That's probably the only reason why.
Your connection.
That's probably the only reason why I'm a fan of her. But she plays for the Indiana Fever, and she's a power forward. So I think she can fit well with what the Wings got going on. Look at us, we're talking Wings over here, man. We're
this diverse.
We're expanding our horizons.
Yeah,
look at us, and we're like people on the chat are like, what the crap are we talking about the Wings for? Came here for Mavs content, but hey, whatever. I mean, it can happen, dude. It can very well. I see them, boosting up their league, and then these women athletes will finally get a bigger share of what the WNBA can bring in.
Yeah,
so that's what I think.
Absolutely,
that's my opinion.
Okay.
So let's move on. Let's go on to some.
Let me hit this question that I skipped over earlier on. Eric Donahue asking again. Do you think this will be Dirk's last season? Max, I'll let you take first crack at that, and we can quickly go through the three of us on that.
I mean, probably, but I'm hoping it's not purely because I want to be able to say Dirk's the all-time NBA seasons leader in games, potentially, and definitely the NBA all-time leader in seasons. And he'd be the most productive in his final season by far. If you look at Kevin Garnett, he wasn't doing much of anything in his final season.
Yeah. Max, I think you might have actually tweeted this out where I initially saw it from. It was comparing Dirk and Kevin Garnett side by side at age 37. And I was trying to look up to verify this, but I'm pretty sure this checks out. So Dirk at age 37 averaged over 18 points a game. Kevin Garnett respectively 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
Rebounds basically even 6.5 versus 6.6 for Garnett. 1.8 assists Dirk, 1.5 Garnett. Same on blocks, 0.7. Steals basically the same. Field goal percentage edge Dirk. 3-point percentage, monster edge. Dirk 38 versus 0. Garnett didn't even shoot a 3 that season, I guess, or at least didn't make one. And then what's TPG? We'll skip that stat, but the idea stands that, yeah, age 37, because Garnett's game was built much more on his athleticism and quickness, it didn't hold up as well, whereas Dirk, we've said this for years, part of what's allowed him to go on to this point is his game is really ageless.
Yeah.
He can play. I mean, he's 40 years old, and he was still 12 points a game last year.
12 points a game last year.
Yeah, on the button, I think. So
I feel like if he comes off the bench, I feel like that number can go up to around 13, depending on minutes, of course, and I guess how he feels. But it could go up to probably 13,
I'm cool.
14.
I've accepted, obviously, LeBron's going to catch him. I wish he caught Wilt before LeBron catches him and Wilt, though. I wish he at least had like a day of reaching 5, right? Whereas right now he's 6, but the guys are already kind of joking with him, prodding him, calling him 7.
Yeah.
Which, he'll catch Wilt probably this season. And I think he's within like 200-something points, though, right? So he's real close to Wilt. Yeah. So, yeah, he should catch Wilt this season, barring injury, knocking on wood. And if that happens, then he will be 6, even if LeBron catches him. So that's saying something. It's the most points ever by an international player. And, I mean, it's incredible what he's been able to do. He's already going to have the record for most seasons with a single team. Max, how close is he with regard to total seasons played? I feel like that's got to be like a Kareem stat or something.
I think y'all just cut it.
Oh, we cut out for you? Okay. Hopefully the stream health looks good, so it must have been something with our setup. But
okay, like you cut out like major.
Okay. Let's see here. I'll try and fix that. Let me know when it's clear on your end. But I don't know how close Dirk is on total seasons played. He can't be that far off, you got to think. But that does feel like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar stat or something to that effect as well. But regardless, it's amazing what he's been able to do. Whether it's his last season, it probably is. I hope it's not. I hope we get a little more from him. But the guy's given us more than enough. So if he feels that he's done at that point, then that is what it is. Let's see here. Why are the comments showing like that? Come on, son. Let's see. There it goes. So the next question here.
Oh, Glad's on the building, bro.
We got Glad in the house.
Yeah, of course, Sugar Daddy.
Sugar Daddy's always quick to join on the stream.
Yeah, Sugar Daddy. I remember. I wasn't thinking about his name. I kept just saying it, and all sorts of innuendos are coming out.
Can you hear us well, Max?
It was funny. What up, Sugar Daddy?
And now, do you want me to say that my piece about Dirk most games right now? Because I can really quick.
Absolutely.
So he's exactly 140 games away from Robert Parrish.
Oh, 140 away from most played all time.
So if he played like 70 games, exactly 70 games both years, if he played another season and played 70 games, he would tie. And considering how he played at least 75 games last season, I think he could probably, if he could do it this year and then just replicate that number again, he could be all-time leader in games, all-time leader in seasons. That's like ultimate longevity right there.
Yeah, it would be impressive. I don't know if physically he's going to be able to do it. I feel like this ankle thing is going to slow him a little bit. And, I mean, we've already seen the jokes about how slow he is getting up and down the court. His own trainer jokes that he measures it by the minute hand. But if he was able to reach that, it's a cool milestone if he does. But even just in his recent years, that more than makes up for it. Obviously, all the scoring list accolades, and that's the main thing people will look at. This would just be like a nice feather in the cap, but it's already a cap full of feathers like a peacock or something. I don't know where this analogy is going, but anyway, the point is, that would be really cool, and that's interesting to know that he's that close. I honestly would not have guessed, even though he's going into his 21st season, I would not have guessed he was that close already.
I was gonna say, did he have any seasons when he was like out for the whole season? I know there's the old.
I think he had it like.
There's the season when we had OJ Mayo when he was out for a long time.
Yeah, he missed like 3 of the first 4 weeks or something that season.
Something like that.
So I think that's probably the most. I'd have to look and see the most
steady.
games he's missed. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been pretty steady up there.
LeBron's
definitely go past him.
So
good input. Okay. So we got time for one more question here while we got Max on here, and then we'll have to let him do his sign off. We got another guest coming on here in a little bit as well.
Can Rico be a starter? Just kidding.
There are always Cowboy questions that come in as well on the Mavs feed, and I try to answer those, but I wait until the end of the show. So if you want to know the answer, you got to hang around for a little bit.
I'll answer that one. No.
But okay, Max, let me see your thoughts on this. Do you think? Let's see. What do you think? What do you think the Mavs would have been? Oh, let me put it this way. Do you think the Mavericks could have won a championship if they had held on to Steve Nash in 2004?
Ooh, that's a good question, Donahue.
In my opinion, since they made the 2006 finals without Nash instead of having Jason Terry. So if they could make it without Nash, I have the belief they probably could and should at some point. I mean, especially even if they didn't win 2006 or any other championship year, they still would have made it 2011, I would imagine. So now you'd have a title with Dirk and Nash. So now Nash would actually have a ring.
Yep. Yeah, I think for me on that, it's
Mavs fans'
that's
dream.
Yeah, that's the most fascinating what if to me, because if you think about it, we only got Terry as a response to losing Nash. We still probably would have thrown the money at Eric Dampier, maybe not as much of it, but we still would have thrown the money his way. The thing is, our best offer to Nash was something in the neighborhood of like, what was it? It was something to the effect of like 6 for 35 or something like that. It basically worked out to like $5 or $6 million a year, something to that effect. And obviously Phoenix came in and blows it out of the water, going 6 for 65, I believe. And the belief was that the Mavericks were going to keep Nash. And then when they saw how much money he was making, they got cold feet, because if you look at Nash's tenure, he had 4 years with the Mavericks. All his career before he came to Dallas, he had been hurt all in his original run with Phoenix. And then he comes to Dallas, his first 2 years, a lot of injuries. He's being booed by his own home crowd regularly.
True.
And then the next 2 years he plays, and those were the 2 years where he really captivated the fan base. He played something like 72 games and then 75 games or 80 games, something like that. And so that was the thing. The Mavericks, because they already knew about his back and because he was already starting to push 30 or was 30 maybe, they had cold feet on giving him that investment. And I think that completely changed Cuban's mindset going forward as far as being willing to pay the big money. And here's what kills me about that. There wasn't a salary cap penalty back then.
No, there wasn't.
You didn't have a luxury tax. It was just if you were willing to pay the money. You had a cap, but you didn't get hit like you do now with the money on it. So it's amazing that they let him walk away. And Cuban has since said it's his biggest regret as far as a roster move, and that's why, if you watch my video for that, it's his number one option.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. So shameless.
Classy.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, and you understand the thought process, but at the same time, you wonder how different everything would be, because you don't have Terry, so that alters everything moving forward. Could they have won? Maybe, but I don't know. It's hard to say, because if Nash and Dirk were together in their prime today, this would be the perfect league built for them.
Yeah.
But back then, it really wasn't. Like, they were still really good. They could still win 60 games or 55 games or whatever, but it's just not the same as if they came in today and were wrecking shop today. So, I don't know. Maybe I need to look into that more for a video or something. But
yep. You can do some what ifs.
More shameless plugs. That's more of a preview, but okay. Well, Max, thanks for coming on again. Tell them where they can find you, and if you got anything you want to preview as far as scouting reports or anything coming out or something like that. If you guys have ideas in the comments as well, hit them up, and we'll see if we can do some more of those for the site.
Well, I got a couple things. Still got DeAndre Jordan in the works, but got to fit it in around school and such and my job. So I'm making it work right now. I'll probably be able to get in some film watching this weekend, because I'm pretty sure it's Labor Day weekend, next weekend.
Yes, Labor Day's on the 3rd.
Next weekend?
Yep, 3rd.
Yep. I'll have to make it happen, which I think I can. Other than that, I think I can, but, homework is unpredictable.
Yeah.
And
it's been a long time since I had to do
it. Other than that, I have some takes because y'all were talking about MPJ. I'm not going to talk about MPJ, but I will just say, if you look into my history on my Twitter, you'll know that I am a diehard Jaren Jackson guy.
Yep.
So, oh, I love Jaren Jackson. But
he showed out a little bit during
like,
the Summer League.
Yeah, Jaren Jackson was, I put it like this, Luka Doncic was the one I truly loved but never thought I could get, so I just stood on the soapbox of Jaren Jackson for the entire draft cycle ever since, like, February. And I was like, everyone was hating on his shot because it was a push shot. I was like, it gets enough arc. Doesn't really particularly matter. Everyone's like, he fouls too much. It's like Joel Embiid fouled too much.
Yeah.
So I'm not too mad about that.
Fair
and
point.
You take the defensive instincts, the shooting, the size, the agility, the length. He's like the same size as Anthony Davis, like right now.
Interesting.
Like I'm pretty sure Anthony Davis. Wait.
Google
is
probably wouldn't be same size as Anthony Davis today. Probably
253, but he came into the league at like 220.
Yeah.
So
Davis, yeah.
Jaren is at like 235 right now. So he's farther along.
Interesting.
He's not that far off.
Cool. Well, thanks again for coming on, Max. You guys can find him on Twitter at RangersKing669, correct?
Yep.
I always accidentally flip it with 7 sometimes, and I don't know why.
No caps. No caps at all.
Okay.
At RangersKing669. You can find me on there to find me probably mostly debating with random people about like Dirk.
That's the way to do it.
And me disliking Kobe.
Disliking Kobe.
So
Okay.
Shout out to Glare.
Glare.
Glaz, are you watching Mavs games on NBA TV? Unfortunately, no. Do you have NBA TV?
Maybe. We can check it out after the show.
I know I don't have it.
But okay, cool.
Reddit, baby.
What'd you say?
Watch it on Reddit.
Watch it on Reddit.
I'm sure someone's got it. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Are we allowed to say that?
Maybe not. We'll just pretend we didn't acknowledge it. It's fine. But okay, cool. Well, Max, thanks for coming on. Oh, you got something?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just a certain website that has all sorts of valuable information.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
All right, cool.
That's my young self.
Yeah.
Right there.
All right.
Watch it on GoPirate.com. You can watch all your games.
It's nothing like that. It's nothing that bad. But anyway, I'm going to sign off. DJ report on the way. Go Mavs. #MFFL. Luka Doncic, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I like it.
Preseason.
All right.
Thanks,
Max. Okay, so yeah, so that of course is Max. We've had him on pretty regularly here lately. I guess I can change the graphic now that shows that he's still on the line.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
The magic.
So
let's see here. Here in a few moments, we'll have our other guest on as well, Barry Grogan. One of our other regulars for our chat queue as well. Let's hit before we bring him in. Let's go through some of these, make sure we're still caught up on various questions and things of that nature.
Gotcha. Can't Catch Him said the Mavericks are in the very beginning, I guess, stages of being a good team again. I would just have to exercise some more patience. At minimum 3 years, but hey, still love the Mavs.
That's probably a pretty fair assessment, honestly, because it usually takes about the 3rd year for a guy to make the real leap forward, unless he's like Donovan Mitchell or some nonsense.
Jason Tatum.
Yeah, but that's typical for how that works. And when you consider then Luka, that'll be Luka's 3rd year if you're looking at that, and Dennis Smith's 4th year. That makes a lot of sense as far as that time frame. And that's part of why I've been saying I don't think that Harrison Barnes is necessarily long-term playing guy, because he's 27, 28 right now.
I think he's about 27.
Yeah, so you move 3 years down the thing. Yeah, he's 30 and he's still got some good mileage in him, but I don't know if it'll be the same in terms of long-term effectiveness, or again at the money he's making now, let alone correlate that out to what he would be making then, if that's still the best long-term investment. But we'll see.
We shall
3 years,
see.
that seems like a pretty good projection there. Let's see here.
I think getting a 10 seed would be great.
Say prime time. I will answer that towards the end of the show. Don't want to overhype Luka, but I think Luka is more NBA ready than Dennis Smith Jr. in his second year. I don't think we are far away from the playoffs as people think, says Dennis. I agree that Luka is probably more NBA ready than Dennis was coming in.
Yes, okay.
Year 2, Dennis, no. I think Dennis coming in as a rookie, Luka is farther ahead in terms of preparedness than Dennis Smith. But year 2, Dennis Smith, I would say you're at best would be them on equal footing as far as readiness,
which would be cool too.
Yeah,
I mean, definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Dennis he's been hitting the gym pretty hard.
That's one of the things about him too that can always improve is he was never like the workhorse like in the gym as far as being in great shape and all that. You know, he didn't have like a healthy diet and stuff before.
Mm-hmm. Well, necessarily really couldn't be if you're in school and playing basketball, you can't be I guess necessarily the type of gym rat that you can if you're if you're a professional, because you have to go to school, you have to do homework and stuff like that. Max Levy was talking about he has to do homework. Imagine if he was professional, he can focus on his craft 24 hours a day. Not really 24 hours a day, but you have a whole day open.
Sleep, damn it.
You will have at least a whole day open to at least go to the gym multiple times a day, work on his craft, get better at shooting, get better at hitting them floaters. That's what he needs to be doing, and and also doing other things. I mean, I'm seeing some videos of Dennis. It looks like he's actually his vertical looks like it's gotten higher.
Yeah, he's like hitting his head on the rim practically eye level with the rim as he's dunking.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he's been doing some insane stuff.
And the reason why is because he never worked out his legs.
Yeah.
The reason why, okay, so before the ACL tear, I was hearing he probably had like a 42, 43 inch
his vertical is 48 right now.
I know, but that was after it went up after the ACL tear. The reason why is while rehabbing after the ACL tear, that was the first time he was actually working out his legs. So that's why he went up from 40. Like people were like, how did it go up from 42 to 48 after ACL? It's because he's for the first time in his life he's actually worked out his legs. Yeah. So now that's why he got the 48-inch vertical, putting more times with his legs.
I saw something claiming that he's tied for the highest vertical in NBA history.
With Wilt?
Yeah, Wilt and Jordan was on there, and
I think
that's
Jordan's
one of those things.
Wasn't that high. Jordan's wasn't 48.
That's one of those things I saw where I was like, "That's cool if true," but I don't know that that doesn't feel like a stat you've always had measurables for. You know what I mean? Like some dude could have been 57 or something, and we just never saw him because there was a guy on the end of the bench who could jump out of the gym but had no body control.
Couldn't do
smack his forehead on the top of the backboard or something.
People were saying that Wilt can grab a coin off the top of the backboard. That was the legend of Wilt. Was like he was super.
We know the real legend of Wilt.
He was playing up against dudes who are like freaking accountants.
Yeah,
freaking milk.
I was talking about the ladies' man thing and his claim of 10,000 women. That's the legend of Wilt. The fact that he scored 100 points is nothing compared to that achievement.
Yeah, 10,000. So he's now what, an expert?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know how that would work logistically because your pants are never on. I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that. But
that's hilarious.
Dennis here adds, remember Luka won the Euro Cup with Goran Dragic and some other guys who were decent, but without Luka they would not have won it all.
Oh, yeah.
He was playing against NBA superstars as well. Yeah, no, there's no doubt he's gone up against elite level competition, and that's part of why he's the favorite for Rookie of the Year. And no, I don't put much stock in the fact that when the rookie class themselves voted, when they were voting on things like best career projection, not one vote was for Luka. I don't care. All they've been hearing about is how great Luka is. Of course they're going to snap back a little bit in a very passive aggressive way.
And of course too, a lot of those guys who have gotten drafted, they grew up basically playing basketball against each other.
Yeah.
None of them really played with Luka because Luka's been playing overseas. So of course they're going to probably vote for the friends. Mm-hmm. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, they every year they do a rookie kind of survey of who do they think is going to be Rookie of the Year, who do they think is going to have who's the best shooter as a rookie, who they think is going to have the best career. I think they voted. Who do they vote for in Rookie of the Year? I think they voted Ayton. Did they?
Yeah, the guys that I kept hearing coming up, like for best career, was like Wendell Carter.
Wendell Carter, they voted best career.
And for rookie of the year, it was Ayton and Sexton as the top two.
Okay, and then best shooter, of course, was Trae Young.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Barry
I mean, a lot of those
Grogan
guys.
in the house.
A lot of those guys are gonna. I mean, they're gonna vote for their friends. They're friends with those guys that they grew up playing with. They played in around the same circuits, like high level AAU. You're gonna see a lot of the same guys every year. They go to the camps. That's where we saw the video of MPJ playing Dennis Smith 1-on-1. They did that at a Steph Curry camp. They go to the same camps.
Setting up here to bring Barry on. Continue.
Yeah, so of course they're gonna vote for each other because they're voting for their friends. You're not gonna see a lot of love for Luka up front. Of course, I've also seen that him and DeAndre Ayton though are pretty close. I remember seeing DeAndre commenting on some of Luka's pictures on Instagram saying "as fire" or something like that.
Yeah.
Luka, vice versa, will comment on him, and Luka basically just communicates an emoji.
It's quite remarkable how passive aggressive everything is.
So I ain't too worried about it.
Trying to get Barry on the line here. As soon as we got him, I'll turn on his mic. Hey Barry, how's it going?
I'm good, sir.
All right,
Barry, what up, baby?
Right now.
We are live here on the stream here.
Cool.
Cool.
Man, I'm glad to be here, man. Watch you guys all the time. I think you guys are doing great work.
Thank you.
And just keep it up, man. I think we got some stars in Big D that a lot of people they got questions on, and I think we'll be okay. I think we're just stepping in the unknown.
They've definitely got some good building blocks that they can move forward with.
Yeah,
if you look at just 2 years ago, before they had even Dennis, that was miserable. That was like when Yogi was the best thing we had in a season.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably the hardest stretch of being like a real dedicated Mavs fan I've had.
Yep.
Because it was like Yogi, you had the brief little fling of Yogi mania, and yeah, he was still good. I loved Yogi. But it was different, and now you actually feel like you have foundation to build around, and guys that could become potentially superstars, and it just changes your entire perception. Suddenly, you're not aching over the losses as much because you say, "Hey, it's good learning, it's good developing." But when you're an old team and you don't have anything in the way of real prospects for the future, or Harrison Barnes, where you kind of have a general idea of where his ceiling is, and you see he can't necessarily get to that level, it just changes the perception, and suddenly it's brutal to watch these games because you're like, oh, this is the best we can do, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I remember that year. It was a year we got Harrison Barnes in the offseason.
Eric Donahue corrects me. The claim is 20,000 women.
Wow.
I'm really saying the pants are never on then.
He was basically just walking around. Walking around the streets with literally nothing on. Anyway, basically the thing we got excited about was Harrison Barnes and Andrew Bogut, and that didn't last long coming into getting them in the offseason. And then after the initial, I guess, gleam of that running out, which didn't take very long, probably about a week or two into the season, where it already felt like Harrison Barnes has been here for a long time. Andrew Bogut was definitely not the guy that we thought he was. I mean, after that, it really wasn't any reason to watch a Mavs game. And then, we get Yogi. I think midway through the season, he had a stint with the Nets before he came with the Mavs, and it didn't work out. Yeah, he had a
10-day contract there, and it didn't really go anywhere.
Exactly, and
we only picked up Yogi because a different 10-day guy didn't work out.
Yeah.
Like he got hurt or something.
Was it Cavill or something?
Something to that effect, yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely hard times watching that. But getting, just for me, because I was such a Dennis Smith guy, just by them drafting them, I honestly had like a reason to watch the Mavs all season long. And now, was it Seth Curry? Yeah, Seth Curry was actually. Yeah.
So Barry, what is it like that you're looking really forward to this season? I know you mentioned some of the young talent, but whether it's a game early on in the season or something like that, like what are you looking to see?
I'm thinking that when I look at the Mavericks, because I've looked at them, for years, for a mighty long time. The Mavericks have always been an older team. if you look at them, they kind of remind me of, they're like a mirror image of the Spurs, but kind of on the losing end.
Yeah.
All right. We're the wrong side of the coin, I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Right.
It's actually not
right.
a bad, not
you
a
know,
bad way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what is going on with the Mavericks is the thing that they have just kind of not really gotten behind the times. It's more of talent level. I think this year we're going to give the league a shocker in a sense. I think what's going on with, I think the mystery is going to be Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
And what all he's going to be able to bring to the table. I've watched a lot of tape on this kid, and this kid can really play.
Yeah.
He's got very good court vision. And I think the knock on him is that a lot of people don't know him. I've spent a lot of time on Facebook and everything, which is some of the things that I do. I do a lot of, I run like maybe 3 groups on Facebook.
Yep.
And what people have been saying is that, they're scared, basically, because they don't know what we're going to have. I think Dennis Smith Jr. is going to be the catalyst. I think we found life after dark, and I think it started with him.
Yeah.
With his athleticism and his vision, the way he's able to move on the court. This kid is cat quick. Speaking of DSJ, and a lot of what I see in him is a little bit of Russell Westbrook, a little bit, maybe just a tad bit of Baron Davis. He kind of reminds me of, if you remember, Steve Francis.
I used to be a big Steve Francis fan.
Yep.
From the Houston Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
He has that ability, but what I noticed from him is that he gives a lot of guards fits. And I noticed that when we played OKC, I think the first and second time, Russell Westbrook had a problem dealing with him. I could tell he was frustrating him on the court because he couldn't really stay in front of him. The problem with Dallas has always been great guard play. And if you look at it, when we won our championships, we had great guard play. We had a general and Jason Kidd who knew how to maneuver on the floor. You had other players who knew how to maneuver as well.
Ball movement was key for that 2011 team. Mm-hmm. Spacing and ball movement, 3-point shooting.
Right. The knock on the Mavericks has been, for the longest time, we've been small. We dealt with small ball for years. I kind of felt like we couldn't give Dirk enough to give him a second championship because of the fact that the players that we had on the floor. I think that now we're becoming better conditioned now for the simple fact of who we're able to bring in. I think these two guys are going to show the league something special. I think a lot of teams may have got it wrong. I really do. And what makes me say that?
Hold on, we're cutting out here a little bit with you, Barry. Audio's dropping just a smidge.
Actually, and I've done a lot of sharing what he has.
One sec, Barry. I think our signal's dropping out with you just a smidge here. Let me see if I can adjust something.
Yeah.
Okay. Say something again?
Let me see.
Oh, no, I hear you. You're good.
Sorry.
Okay, we got you now, Barry. We're good. Barry?
Okay.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, I
okay,
think that's...
how about now?
Yeah,
okay.
We can hear you now. I think that's a good point as well.
But I really think we got something special, Dallas.
Yeah, I agree. And
okay.
I think part of the disrespect Luka gets is based on the fact that he's. I think part of the disrespect Luka gets comes from the fact that so many European players have kind of flamed out. Now I think it's different now because the rest of the world is kind of catching up with the U.S. as far as quality of basketball play. It's still a different style, but they're catching up. And you've had guys like the Greek Freak come out, Porzingis, other examples as well. But you're having more really good players coming out already, and I think that it's turning, but the perception hasn't changed. Just like Dirk was called soft until he finally won the title, I think it's the same kind of thing where until they really see Luka Doncic for themselves, they're going to keep throwing shade at him because they don't know what he is, and they just look at the stereotype or perception and try and base everything of him based on that, which is outdated information.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things I'm not worried about when it comes to Luka Doncic, too, as you just pointed out, the world is catching up in terms of quality of basketball.
Yep.
But the league is kind of switching to more of a European style type basketball, which will be better suited for Luka. Luka's going to come in day one, going to be probably top 5 passers in the league day one in terms of court vision. And we saw that when he was playing against OKC for that preseason game 2 years ago.
Yep,
he was diming up his team,
and that was OKC. Still
and he
with
was
Durant.
and he was guarding Russell Westbrook, one of the more athletic players in the league as a 17-year-old. So I don't have any worries of how he's going to match up with the super athletic guys. I remember I saw a tweet about Luka during the summer league was saying that we're trying to hide him because we don't think he's gonna be very good. I definitely disagreed, and I wanted to freaking destroy that guy on Twitter. But I'm not one to really get into social media arguments with people. But yeah, I mean, this guy he's already played against one of the best NBA teams as a 17-year-old,
and
he was playing very well too.
He's also just played against a bunch of other NBA players as is, like whether it was international teams or whatever.
Yeah.
He's played against Porzingis and the Greek Freak and with Dragic and guys like that. So he's no stranger to that level of
too.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Rudy.
Former
Mavs great Rudy Fernandez.
He wasn't even for a practice. He was gone. He was like acquired, gone.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's because his contract wasn't even signed. That's true. We knew that. Rangers King, and in fact they played over 100 games the year before. They wanted to rest him. I don't think even if they did sign him, because they did sign him before the summer league was done, but they still didn't
call
play
this a preview behind Enyi's head. As people don't break the fourth wall.
right
Yeah, so this is just a quick plug for something I'm going to be working on here soon. If you've seen some of my other videos, I am trying to take this to the next level, and I'm going to do a full season retrospective on the 2006 Mavericks, including the pain of the 2006 finals. And I'm going to have something interesting for you guys, but it's going to take me a little bit of time to put this together.
By the way, did y'all see that tweet from Dwayne Wade over the weekend?
Oh, you're citing that now.
No.
Okay.
What did he say?
This is going to make me...
He'll pull up the tweet.
You kind of feeling it shouldn't take me long to find it because... So many people have.
All right, let me flip back off the preview graphic now back to what I had before.
Okay, hold on. So D Wade tweeted. Some Twitter site tweeted Dwayne Wade's stats over the 2006 NBA Finals, and just 3 through 6, and he averaged 39.3 points a game, 8.3 rebounds a game, 3.5 assists a game, 2.5 steals per game, 1 block a game. He had a 51% field goal percentage and a 62% true shooting percentage. Right? And Dwayne Wade tweets, "My bad, fellas. Looks like I wasn't passing a lot. Haha. Had to get the first ring." And what I thought was Dirk Nowitzki, what he tweeted, but it was Dick Nowitzki.
I like how it's Squish 41, by the way.
Yes. But he tweeted, "If I got dimed 97 free throws in 6 games, I wouldn't pass either."
Yeah.
So, and I tweeted some GIFs that were pretty funny, and people are still liking it to this day. But yeah, the freaking loser. like half those calls. I still remember the one they called on. I think it was Marquise Goodwin, where he didn't touch him at all. It was like just like a hand in his face, just like I'm doing
I believe the phrase is phantom foul.
Oh my gosh!
Which is why this retrospective is subtitled "The Phantom Menace."
So many of that. It was so freaking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So it wasn't
That's
Dirk.
crazy.
It was just a parody account, but it was still a valid point. 97 free throws in 6 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why pass the ball ever?
Exactly.
Especially after game 2 and on 3 through 6. Just the calls he was getting was absurd.
It was bull crap.
Well, you know, I mean, D-Wade was on the reason why they won that championship. If you look at it, 'cause if I remember correctly, Dallas was up 3 games.
They were up 2. They were up 2-0.
Yeah.
They were up 2-0, and they were up in the first half, and then all of a sudden the
Up,
Bills
six,
fell
up
off in the
16
second
with like
half.
6 minutes left or something. 6 minutes and change in game 3 even.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the turning point there. It's like they lost just that little bit of momentum, and then now part of that is I don't think Avery had a good series. I think he had a bad coaching series for sure. He got out coached by Pat Riley, and no disrespect there. Riley is a legendary coach, but
He's a legend.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
yeah. So yes,
yeah.
that video will tackle as Glaz screaming at the top of his lungs, whether or not it was rigged.
It was
and
super. Or
I contend not
if
rigged,
not
but
rigged,
slanted.
but
Slanted.
If not rigged, terribly officiated. Terribly.
Well, yeah, that's a given.
Dudes should have lost their jobs after that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I remember watching that game, and
Throwing stuff.
I remember a lot of fouls being called. And I just remember D-Wade just running amok on us, and we couldn't stop him.
I just
and,
remember D-Wade standing at the free throw line the whole time, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was their
Yeah.
offense. D-Wade to the line.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Bullshit.
Yep, so that's going to be my next big project I'm working on. It's going to take me longer because I'm trying to do a lot more with it rather than just a behind-the-desk recording thing. So
It's going to be fun.
Cool.
So stay tuned.
yeah,
Cool.
it's going to take a little bit of time, probably a couple weeks for me to produce everything now that I'm getting all the stuff together. But anywho, let's take a look at the comments here. Any shout-outs you want to throw? We got Kent Catchum in there. We got William Phillips. Tommy Brown,
how you doing?
Julian Smith spitting hot attitude era takes here in the comments. Stone Cold and McMahon was better than Rock and Triple H in WWF. All right. We got a fan of my fantasy booking, I can see. Let's see, and still got guys like Eric Donahue in here. No, the 0-2 conference finals were rigged. The 0-2-03 season, so it was the 0-3 Western Conference Finals. I don't think that's rigged. I think that's just a terrible break of Dirk's knee. If they have Dirk the whole series,
Oh, wow.
I think that they beat
he's
the
talking
Spurs.
about the 0-2 versus
Oh,
the
0-2.
Kings,
He's talking
Lakers.
Sacramento. Oh, yes. 0-2 between the Kings. I thought we were still talking Mavs.
Yeah.
Kings
And
Lakers is
Mavs
the
Fastbreak.
single biggest travesty ever. 06 was really bad, and it was a bigger stage. But yes, the 0-2 finals was not strong by any means. That was bad officiating and the most slanted I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like in Game 7, like 24 free throws in the fourth quarter for the Lakers. Like the single quarter was like 24 free throws.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah, I mean they were fouling out guys on the Kings.
It was one of the biggest cases people have for.
I feel
NBA
bad for
being
Sacramento
rigged.
for that, as they never got to. That was a great team that never got to get there.
And I think
In part
after-
because the Mavs put them down the next year, but
Yeah, but I think that was when did Weber get hurt that year
The
too?
no, don't take this from me.
The Sacramento Kings are like the Clippers of today.
Yeah.
Of today, yes, it's been 10 years since they've made the playoffs. So absolutely. Back then, that single Sacramento team is better than anything the Clippers have ever put together, including the recent incarnations that had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre, and all that, and still couldn't get out of the second round. Well, they got to the conference finals one year, right?
No, they didn't. Never got the.
Oh yeah, that's
Right.
right. They choked away like a 3-1 lead that let Houston go and then get beat.
Yep.
Yeah, so that team was hot garbage. Don't at me.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they were always well put together, but could never get to the big one. They remind me of exactly what the Clippers are and were.
Yep.
You know, when they had everybody on the squad, you know, and it just great head coach. It was just, for whatever reason, they could never win the big one. They could never finish.
Well,
So, you know.
they needed a wing they never really had.
We talking Kings?
We're talking Clippers.
Clippers.
They were
trying to find that 3.
1-3 away.
Yep.
They had a good point guard, of course. Chris Paul.
They brought in Paul Pierce at that stage of his career to try and get it. Yeah, it was
post Brooklyn, post Washington, Paul Pierce.
Yeah,
ain't gonna get the job.
He had one clutch shot left in him, and that was literally in Washington.
And he thought he was still the truth.
Would you guys actually say that they were snake bitten? Do you think they were snake bitten because?
I think they in-fought a lot. I think that came down from Chris Paul, even the guy that's supposed to run the team and be the leader. We praised him last year in Houston and everything, but I think he absolutely has an ego and butts heads with his guys, and not just DeAndre and his kind of boneheaded plays he made at times, like getting an offensive rebound right under the rim and then just holding it as time ran out, thinking that the time had already run out. But imagine if that had been in a playoff game, by the way. That he would have been J.R. Smith before J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
And I would argue worse, because at least J.R. Smith ran away with the ball. He's literally standing by himself, holding it at the rim, and Chris Paul's jumping up and down like a little pogo stick, still barely reaching past his stomach. Just shoot it.
ESPN spammed that clip back when they're always talking about the rifts between Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan back that offseason of 2015.
Absolutely.
And you just see Chris Paul was treating him like garbage, and Chris Paul's jumping and he's like, you idiot.
Yeah.
Right.
Stuff like that. But come on, DeAndre, if you do that this year, no one's gonna do it on the team. I will run up there and do it. What are you doing, bro?
It's a 1-year deal. We don't have to worry about relationships.
Exactly. Unless we sign you again. But speaking of that, so DeAndre's for 1 year, right? I don't know if we talked about this in the past. What do you think about Miles Turner signing with us?
You know what?
There's a video that came out of him and Dennis Smith playing some pickup basketball here in Dallas. I think it was a private NBA session. Jordan Green was there. If you remember Jordan Green, we played high school with him. Well, I think it was when you left. So he came, I think the year you left Flower Mound, he came and he was a freshman.
Okay.
And he ended up playing for A&M.
Okay.
And he played recently for the Austin Toros. So he was getting some run. I actually saw him in the video. I was like, oh, is that Jordan? Anyway. But he was playing with Dennis. He was playing against them. But Dennis and Miles Turner were playing some pickup basketball somewhere in Dallas with some other
Looked
NBA.
promising.
Yeah, Dennis looked really good.
Good.
Miles looked really good as well, but
a lot hinges
maybe
on Dennis taking that next step.
Exactly.
If the guy is Turner, if he's got something, sure, bring him in. We need as much talent as we can get right now, and we've got some parts that I like a lot for the team. We're missing some that I am still furious over. Seth Curry.
Yeah, and this is one of the things
my
I was
heart
talking
will go
about.
on.
Yeah, this is one of the things I was talking about when we originally got.
That line would have worked better if I'd had that drop ready.
But yeah, so Dennis Smith, I was always saying Dennis Smith he's a more marketable player.
Yeah.
Guys will actually come to Dallas to play with Dennis Smith. With Dirk, unfortunately, they didn't view Dirk the same way.
Yeah. I've talked about that.
And
it was as frustrating as that's why Darren Williams didn't come to Dallas. He went to play with Joe Johnson.
Yeah.
ISO Joe, instead of playing with one of the greatest ever, because people didn't really see Dirk in the light that they should have.
Right. What do you?
So I'm thinking. I mean, if Miles Turner, if he doesn't have a good run with the Indiana Pacers, he's being from Dallas.
Yeah, an interesting possibility. What do you think, Barry?
I think eventually he'll wind up coming home. The deal of it is how well is he going to play in Dallas, and what exactly will he bring to the table? I know he's got a decent offensive game, but the Mavs have, and you look at Carlisle, it's all about defense with Carlisle, and how well he's going to measure up defensively. And I'll tell you something. I think a lot of people are probably sleeping on DeAndre Jordan. I think Lob City is going to come back. And me honestly, I think
with Dennis Smith and Luka, absolutely, he'll get his lobs that were kind of a little bit down last year for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think he definitely didn't enjoy being in that organization last year.
Well, yeah, everyone was gone.
Yeah, pretty much.
He was the Will Smith meme where he's like, "Why don't anybody want me?"
Exactly. So DeAndre, he strikes me as a dude that he's going to produce at the level of fun he's having.
Yeah.
And if he's not having a lot of fun, he's not going to produce a lot.
Oh, hey, someone's watching us on Twitch.
Nice.
I forget I have that page sometimes.
But you know, if we play a very entertaining brand of basketball, you know, for example, Lob City, which before they were, you know, we consider them contenders. They were just that team that was entertaining because we'll see 3 or 4 alley-oops a game.
Yeah.
And I think DeAndre will have a good time doing that. Meaning we'll probably see a more more productive because we saw a dip in his blocks per game. Yeah, we saw a dip in his blocks per game and his defensive. But I think we'll see an uptick in that this year because he'll be back home. It will be a place where he's more appreciated because he doesn't have to contend with being back in the Lakers where. You know, now they got LeBron. Now the Clippers are definitely going to be an afterthought. Now he's going to come in, and people are already saying that he's probably the best center that, without even playing a minute, he's the best center that the Mavericks have ever had.
That Dallas has had,
exactly.
I mean, he's a walking double-double for sure. Yeah, he's a walking double-double for sure. Like 12 and a half points last year, 15 boards, rebounds, something like that. Yeah. What I want to see from him, though, is I want to see that rim protection come back. Yeah. He took a short – I mean, he was 0.9 blocks last year a game. When we tried to get him in 2015, it was like 2.4 or something like that. It was way better rim protector back then.
He's too big and too athletic to not be the rim protector that he once was. I honestly think I attribute that to him just not having fun playing for the Clippers. Definitely wasn't the same team. Wasn't, you know, having Chris Paul, having Blake Griffin. I mean, Blake Griffin was his dude, and once he left, it was almost like, all right, he probably checked out after that. So I definitely see him come to the Mavericks, and if everything goes, you know, somewhat good. I mean, of course, everything could pretty much crumble down in Dallas as well, especially with it being a 1-year deal. We can see him just like, all right, I'm done with this team or whatever. But if they're having, you know, if they're having some good games and they're being somewhat competitive and entertaining, I view him being way more productive than we saw last year. So I'm not really too worried about DeAndre as well. But you never know. He might have a highly productive year, and you know some other teams could be willing to pay him something that you know the Mavericks aren't. So we just never know. Again, as I look at it, it's going to be based upon how well our guards do. If we start out with good guard play, the rest will follow, and I think we'll start seeing more dishes and things of that sort. Because if you look at it, we got Harrison Barnes, 2 years ago? This will be his, third year here? And he didn't, if you really look at it, he didn't have core players to really help him. He didn't have great role players around him. Now that I think you have 2 guys that'll take more attention with the ball in their hands, it'll start to kind of not confuse defenses, but it'll make them aware, hey, we got 2 other people on the floor that we got to look out for. So somebody got to be able to stop them. I think once that happens, and if Dallas starts out with 15 to 20 wins, look out. Then we have something.
I think Dallas' schedule starts really tough, though. The first 20 games is a brutal stacking. And it's probably going to be something where, like, your disaster, like the first 3 of the 4 I feel are very winnable. And the one that I'm saying might not be is still potentially winnable game. But if you look at the first 20 games, and it just comes with being in the Western Conference, and the Western Conference being what it is right now, it is a brutal first 20 games for the Mavericks where they could very well start off like disaster strikes, and they start off like 4-16. And if that's the case, then you got to real quick assess whether or not, and the West is stacked the way it is, if you should try and not say tank early on, but certainly scale back a little bit, understanding that, hey, maybe we are going to be more in contention for keeping that top 5 pick than we think if we, you know, end up the season that way, if it projects that way. Because if you don't commit to that kind of mindset until like, let's say end of January or something, I think you're out of the running for keeping that pick. And the worst thing that can happen to Dallas is miss the playoffs and get like somewhere between 6 and on in the picks, because then you lose the pick and you didn't make the playoffs. So what did you really gain other than, I mean, you'll gain playing time and experience for Dennis and Luka, and that's important too. but you're losing
Right.
a lot that you don't have to lose. So I think you have to make that decision early on. If through the first 20 games you're cratering, you might have to make a quick assessment on that, I think.
Right. I mean, it's yet to be seen, but stranger things have happened. This is the NBA. We may think that it'll start out a certain way, and then all of a sudden, once one guy catches fire, it could very well spread out through the league because nobody saw Donovan Mitchell coming.
Nope.
If you look at it last year, everybody was scared of Dennis Smith Jr. because they thought off the bat because of his athleticism and who he is as a player, they thought he was going to hands down take Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
No one saw him breaking out, so he wound up having a breakout season. I'm thinking in my heart of hearts that this will be the year for Dennis Smith Jr. I've watched a lot of workout tapes on him on YouTube. I've seen that he's now working with Stephon Curry's trainer.
Yep.
And man, this kid hops.
If he can add a jump shot, and it sounds like he is working to do that, he will be unguardable.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a decent jump. To me,
he wasn't efficient last year. Was the problem.
Okay, but that gets better over time. We've seen players get better with that. I mean, he came with a better shot than Jason Kidd, and Jason Kidd is now one of the top.
Yeah, Jason Kidd was Asen.
True.
Jason with no J.
Yeah.
That was literally his nickname when people would troll him in the league.
Yeah, no, but
man,
I'm
he
not
had
that witty to do that on the spot.
I feel like I feel like if Dennis adds in a floater,
floater is a good addition to an offense. Sure,
it will be.
Yeah, if he can find that short range intermediate game as opposed to always having to go all the way to the rim. If he can add like a Tony Parker floater,
that's why Dennis was like the most blocked guy in the league last year because guys knew that if he goes that deep, he can't pull up or he can't put up any floater or anything like that.
Yeah.
In a day,
I like
J. Cole wanted to bite the Mavericks in a decade.
Yeah, I'm not even looking at that. It's whatever. I don't know why that made a story like, oh, someone with money wants to buy a team.
Yeah, first of all,
but it's your team. Don't you care? No, I don't.
J. Cole does not have that type of money.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool for him to mention the Mavs, but everybody went crazy when he said he might buy the Mavericks. It's just fun. It wasn't real. Everybody needed to calm down.
Yeah. I like this little comment interaction here. Glass saying I should do a video on the 2007 Mavs playoffs. Can't catch him immediately like, oh, God, no. Oh, man. I did say that you got to learn to laugh at your moments that make you want to cry because it's better, but I don't know if I'm ready to go down that rabbit hole just yet. The 2006 finals took a lot. Really, I'm only starting with that one because I had so many people ask me about that series. The 06 finals. Like I had in these Mavs fast breaks, I've had probably 5 or 6 different times someone has brought it up, wanting to know my opinion on it, wanting to know what I think, and so that's why I was like, okay, if I'm going to start this retrospective series, that seems like as good of a starting point as any.
I guess.
But we'll see. We'll see. If I do more of them, it seems inevitable I might eventually have to go there. But I'm also going to get the good moments too. So it's not just wallow in our pity or whatever. We'll get the 2011 season. We'll get some of those other seasons that were great as well. The 02-03 with hell, I might even go old school and hit that 88 club that made the West Finals.
Yep, and took the Lakers to 7 games.
Took the Magic Johnson Lakers to 7.
And ended up winning it too.
Lakers, yes. Yeah. Yep.
Rangers King, J. Cole has a connection with DSJ, them being both from Fayetteville.
Yeah,
North Carolina.
I remember that.
I think Dennis actually had J. Cole planned to be a part of this dunk contest if he wouldn't went far enough, if he wouldn't had real judges.
You mean if the dunk contest wasn't rigged?
Yeah. That was
I remember that.
That was a garbage.
That's the video people want to see.
Yeah, that was a garbage dunk contest. I'm sorry, but him jumping over Kevin Hart, come on, bro. Him jumping over Kevin Hart sitting down was not tense.
Yeah, no.
Not at all.
That the dunking over someone thing's overrated.
Yeah.
If he put
we saw Nate Robinson dunk over Dwight Howard. Once that happened, like anyone dunking over anybody, like no, I'm sorry.
But you're telling me taking 2 feet off of the height and dunking over him is not as impressive?
No.
Dunk over a folding chair. Tens.
Do you guys agree that Dennis Smith Jr. got robbed that year?
Yeah. His first score was trash because he made it look so effortless that they didn't score it that well.
He
as soon as I saw that score for him, I was like, he's screwed because they're giving out tens on everything else. He's not going to be able to catch up, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because he missed his first attempt and then made it look so effortless on the second one, they didn't score it well. And when you looked at it in replay and slowed down, you're like, damn, that's impressive. Yeah. But full speed the first time, you're like, oh, that's not bad. Yeah. But yeah, he got robbed for sure.
And then the second one that got tens, and oh my gosh, that was complete garbage.
Yeah.
And by then, the league was pretty encaptivated, or whatever how you say that word.
Yep.
With Donovan Mitchell, that he couldn't do no wrong. It was almost like the Blake Griffin effect. I'm sorry, I know you guys are close because you're both from Oklahoma.
I turned on Blake Griffin a long time ago.
But Blake Griffin, I don't think he should have won his because he jumped over a hood of a car. Which, I mean, I can't dunk, but I can at least jump over a hood of my car. So
I think we need video. We'll continue this stream. I'll carry the camera outside, and we will do this right now.
I mean, with my Kia, I could jump. With my Hyundai, I can
By
jump
the
over
way,
the hood of
you
it.
might be at my house, but I am not responsible for injuries.
Yeah. But
Please don't hurt
jump
yourself.
into the street off of my property, and we're good.
So another car comes in and runs me over.
That's
anyway.
perfect. You even have the extra little boost of the curb that you're going off of.
Anyway, but I think Serge Ibaka probably should have won because he actually dunked from the free throw line. That year.
I would have taken that. Of course, he was a member of the Thunder.
There you go. Then. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of favoritism, I turned on Blake a long time ago, though. Too much instigator, and then who, me? Like just bitch ass stuff like that. Where I'm just like, come on, man.
Right.
You make it so hard to defend you.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
Rigged.
Yeah. So definitely. Dennis Smith should have been champ that year.
Man, they definitely robbed him. I think he won it hands down. But if you remember, and how it goes with the Mavs, until the Mavs start winning or somebody really starts balling, Dallas will never get that respect that they need.
Right.
For years, it's been all about Dirk. And Dirk has had the knock of being a finesse player. Well, now you got a guy with athleticism, and I felt bad for DSJ last year, and I especially felt bad for the team the year before. But I felt bad for him because we got a kid that has he has the oomph behind him. Yeah, he has it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many other players in the NBA have you seen give themselves alley-oop off a bounce pass?
Right.
In mid-game. So I'm definitely...
I'm going to blow people's mind and adjust the camera while we're on air.
I mean, yeah, so he definitely has that marketability.
Going the wrong way.
That we didn't see with Dirk. And, I mean, as good as Dirk has been, Dirk's game is close to the ground. Jump shooting where people like to see dunks and highlight type plays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they just came out with the Mavericks top 3 plays on Instagram of the year, and all 3 of them had Dennis Smith.
Probably Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah.
You're right.
It was Dennis Smith. Right. It was Dennis Smith off the backboard alley-oop to Dwight Howard. Number 2 was
Dwight Powell.
Dwight Powell.
Sir. we don't have that gentleman on this
Dwight
team,
Powell
nor do we want him.
And then
number
2 was Dennis Smith giving alley to himself.
Yeah.
And then number 1 was Dennis Smith throwing the ball to Harrison Barnes for the last second shot to win the game.
Yeah.
That was like
0.2
seconds. So.
Yeah, I remember.
Right.
So Dennis Smith was in all of them, but I mean, I'm definitely really excited about what he can bring to the table and what he can bring to the league. I mean, he already garnered the respect of guys like LeBron.
Yeah, and that's part of what I was saying. It would help recruiting is because he already has the end with those guys.
Yeah. That
if he shows development step forward, there's no reason that with the cap money we have and with that guy as the face that they can't draw.
Yeah.
What do you think, Barry? We got we're about to go into our wrap up here. What are your, I guess, kind of parting thoughts and everything, and tell them about like your Facebook groups, like where they can find your pages.
Well, let's see, on Facebook, I think Dallas Mavs fans for life with the number 4 is as for life. I think I'm also in not Mavs Nation. I'm a part of that group, but
Okay.
the other ones give me a second. I can get it to you. Give me just
All right.
a second.
Good news is all of the Mavs fast breaks tend to find their way there. I've noticed Barry's been on top of that, sharing the stuff, spreading the good word, and this is the good word, the Mavs Fast Break show.
Yes. And
appreciate that.
wherever you see me sharing, that's where I am. So, but my main group is Dallas Mavs fans for life.
Okay.
That's my main one, and then I think I have another one. Man, I think I've jumped in so many groups that it's hard to keep up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have the 3 or 4, and next time if you guys let me on the show, I'll be better prepared. Just kind of lay them out.
Yeah, no worries, man.
But
well,
cool.
We appreciate you coming on here today.
Guys,
oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, man. You guys are doing it big, man. Keep up the good work, and more fans are following and come and everything.
Yes,
but
sir.
as far as Facebook, check out that Mavs Fans for Life. Start there, and then wherever you see my face, just join in. Because I got 3 to 4
Okay.
that I stay in.
Yeah.
But that's the main one.
Okay.
That's my main one.
Cool.
Right.
Well, thanks for coming on, man, and of course, thanks for sharing the stuff, spreading the word of the show. We're only 7 episodes in, but we are growing quickly. We've noticed there's been a really good response from Mavericks fans and even some just general NBA fans as well. So we definitely appreciate all that. And
hey, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You guys are actually doing it big. I know a lot of times you put in the work and you don't necessarily get to see the feedback or hear the feedback, but you guys are actually doing a great job. I mean, I've been on you guys' Facebook page,
thank you,
and also through YouTube as well. So
cool.
I initially knew about you guys from YouTube, so from channel surfing and listening to everything. You guys are one of the ones that I stuck with, and I think I listen every week. I don't think I've missed a show just yet.
That's awesome, man.
So,
we appreciate that. But
hey,
cool.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Absolutely. We'll have to do it again sometime. Barry, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Let's do it again.
All right.
Let's
Peace
go,
out.
man.
Let's go.
Peace out.
Later. All right. So, let's see here. All right. So, that's pretty much hitting the wrap to our show here now.
Yeah.
What's some kind of parting thoughts or something you had in mind? Anything else you wanted to touch on a little bit
Really,
here?
nothing really much left. I mean, just be patient, guys. If you guys are not, if you can't really wait for NBA season, at least let the NFL season kind of hold you over to then.
Yep.
You got the Cowboys coming on. Let that carry you over to October, and then we can get some Mavs stuff going on. Until then, NBA 2K comes out next month. So that'll be fun. So you can actually get to test run your Mavs.
Yep. There have already been people asking me about if we would do something with that, like if it would be something where I think there are people who are wanting to play against us, which would mean you, because I don't play NBA
Challenge
2K personally.
accepted. Come on, bring it on. Bring it on.
We tell you what, we can set that up where we literally do a live stream on the channel where you're playing against them and I'm commentating on everything. We will do shows like that if you guys want it and you guys will come out and watch it. We will find a time to do that. It won't be our normal Mavs Fast Break window, but we'll find a time during the week to do that.
Y'all have to use other teams though, because I'm using the Mavs. Sorry.
All right.
That's all I've been using. Since literally I've owned every single NBA 2K since Sega Dreamcast. I had NBA 2K all the way through NBA 2K19 because I have it pre-ordered, and I've just used the Mavericks ever since. So except for 2009, I actually used OKC on 2009.
All right, I forgive you.
That was when they won 23. That was when I built the OKC.
I was about to chop you down like you sell out. And then you said Thunder. I was like, that's all right.
That's I remember I was a big Thunder fan.
Yeah, because of the Durant thing.
Yeah. So
of Snake.
Definitely. I'm on PS4 Glad. If you guys wanna, I guess D-Town Kid, capital D, Town, capital K for Kid, and then hit me up on there.
We'll figure out a way to set that up because there are people who have expressed interest in that, and I think that'd be an interesting additional piece of content to do where we're kind of. Yeah, probably. I hope you lose. I'm going to be rooting against you actively.
Unbelievable.
But
freaking hater.
Oh man. Rangers King says you got a matchup. He's got the 11
He got
Mavs.
the 11 Mavs. Bring it on. I don't care.
Right.
I'll use 15 Mavs or 16. What Mavs are we in? 17
Did
Mavs.
you just say are we in?
Forgot what year we're in.
Come on,
I briefly
man.
forgot what year we're in. I'll
right.
use the 17 Mavs. I ain't tripping.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that's our time for today. Don't forget to check out the website, thedallasprospect.com, your home for Dallas sports and all things pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
Find us on social media. All the icons are up there in the corner. Let me point in the general vicinity of where they are on my screen. You got us on the YouTube channel. If you haven't already subscribed, come on, man. What are you doing?
I gave up.
Yeah, the Facebook, I do that all the time too, where I'm like, I don't know. Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, we're active on that. That's where you'll see the preview stuff as far as like thumbnails and kind of hints at stuff that I'm working on.
Cool.
So if you were already following us on Instagram, you knew probably 4 or 5 days ago that the 06 Mavs was going to be one of my next projects. Also, we're on Twitch if that's how you prefer to consume media. So we're there. If you want to support us on Patreon, that's a huge lift. Everything goes back into the website and to the channel as far as the equipment, as far as the software we use. And hey, with some of this stuff we're going to be doing now, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff that's a little bit more, I don't want to say skit-based, but more retrospective stuff where it's more than just me sitting at the desk. You're going to get a more complete entertainment experience, I want to say.
Oh, experience. That
yes,
like
experience.
Sounds like a Cuban word.
The Dallas Prospect experience.
There you go.
That's what you need, the retrospective experience. So if you guys want, follow us as well if you want to hear us. If you miss a show, I know sometimes someone misses a show. Glenn has said this before. You miss a show when you're bummed out. What do? Well, you go on to the iTunes podcast store or Google Play Store. Our podcasts are always there. Mavs Fastbreak is always there, always available to you. Goes up the next day.
I actually got bored out. Is this weird that I got bored at work and I listened to our past podcasts?
You listen, well, not real, well, kind of.
It's kind of weird. Okay.
Kind of. I mean, like I've gone back and listened to parts of it before, but I mean, I'm doing more like preemptive planning and stuff like that. You were just doing it for the sake of enjoying the show and everything, so that's a little bit different.
Tap out my thing.
There you go.
Right.
So Enyi's entering in his PSN account name here. So, but yes, if you ever miss a show, you can find it the next day on the iTunes podcast thing or Google Play Store. We'll also send up the Dallas Prospect live shows we do on Thursdays that I do with Law Nation and Big Game James. Those are there. And sometimes, depending on the content of the video I put out during the week, like my worst 5 Mavs contracts and Cuban's worst roster decision moves in his tenure, those both got added as well, but some of the other ones, depending on, sometimes it has to be more visually consumed, and so those don't find their way there, but generally all of my stuff will go there. Rangers King says he sent you a request.
Okay.
So yeah, check that out as well. Anything you can give helps. We always put it all back into the site. And hey, if you guys even noticed, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, we have Super Chat now. It's literally right down there. I'm pointing as if the bar is below me, but on my screen it's over here. Right there under there, that nice $sign under your chat box input. And that helps as well. That anything helps with that, and we all put it back into the site. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and remember, every legend was once a prospect.
Hold on. Dallas Cowboy X Factor. Max does have a social media account. Rangers King 669. Check him out on Twitter. I know he's on Twitter.
Yes, that's Max's. I don't know that Barry has an account for social media. I think he just has his Facebook account where it's just his profile.
Just go. Just literally go on Dallas Maverick, or is it Mavericks Fans for Life? freak, I forgot.
It's Mavs fans for life.
Number 4 for life.
Yeah.
Check him out on there, and you'll be able to find him.
Yep, Barry Grogan. So we'll put his info in the description. I'll go back and add that stuff as well. So just check out the description after this video post.
My bad for cutting off your
yes, for interrupting the tagline of all things.
Remember.
Wait a minute. Okay.
I'm sorry, they has.
I know.
Gotta give the people what they want. Anyway.
Well, and people watch us. All right. Remember, guys, every legend was once a prospect. Salute.
And now it's a legend.
Damn it, Enyi.